Hey, welcome back to Chatting with Ashley. It's been a while since I've just done a video of me talking, so I'm really excited to be back and be doing one for you today. I just had someone reach out with a question. Their question was, what do I do with the emotional turmoil? How do I continue to function when my whole life has just been shattered and I'm dealing with betrayal trauma? And I felt like this was probably a question so many people have, and I wanted to answer it on video with a little metaphor that I'm going to use for you today. So it starts off, here is us. This is us. It's actually a magnet that my 6-year-old painted. So cute. But today it's us. Just going along, trying to be the incredible star that we are. When we are going along, we're going to be acting within our window of tolerance. So this square represents our window of tolerance. And here I am, just doing my best to be my best. Now, when a big trauma happens, two things happen. The first thing is our brain says, whoa, that thing that just happened was not okay, and I don't ever want it to happen again. And so I am going to create a reminder of what it was so that I can make sure I avoid that horrible thing again. I'm going to keep myself safe with this reminder. This reminder looks like a button that happens in our brain. And when this button is pushed, it releases all of the same chemicals that we experienced in the trauma itself. Like we're back in it, right there, all of the same chemicals. Now again, our brain is doing this because it wants to keep us safe. It doesn't want us to have to experience that trauma again, so it's going to remind us what it felt like to have that trauma happening so that we don't have it happen again. This is what we usually refer to as a trigger, is when there's something that has pushed that button and our brain has now been flooded with chemicals. The button. The second thing that happens is when we are in active trauma, we go into what's often referred to as a survival mode, where extraneous things can no longer take up my time, my attention, my energy. I and my brain are solely focused on just surviving, just making it minute to minute, hour to hour, wherever, whatever our level is. That's called our window of tolerance. It has gotten smaller. So our brain created this button for our safety, and then our window of tolerance got smaller. And the problem is when we try to live within our window of tolerance and we've just had an active trauma happening, everything we do at any point is hitting this button because our window of tolerance is so small that we're hitting the button all the time, which is why we end up being flooded and triggered all the time when we're first recovering from a trauma, because our window of tolerance has gotten smaller. Good news is our brain isn't trying to hurt us. It's trying to help us. It's genuinely just trying to keep us safe. And this window of tolerance, we already have discovered, changes. It's going to change again. So as we give it some time, our window of tolerance will grow and we'll make it to where there's only some times when we are hitting the button. But most of the time, as we live within our window of tolerance, we're going to be okay. It will get bigger and bigger and bigger the more time that we give it. That window of tolerance will grow. So it's not going to be there. How I would recommend getting your window of tolerance bigger, faster? Patience. It's nobody's favorite answer, but just being patient. Let your healing work take the time that it takes. And deep breathing, which is such a throwaway response anymore. What should I do? Oh, take a couple deep breaths. But seriously, there's so much science behind what happens in your brain and what happens in your body when you take a nice deep breath that activates the whole long nerve that goes down your back. When that's activated, good things happen. Deep breathing activates that nerve in such good ways. As we give it time and we do some deep breathing, our window of tolerance increases. However, if you are right in the middle of a trigger, if that button has just been pushed, how do you get through that? Now, remember the chemicals that are released when that button is pushed bring us right back to the time of the trauma, right back to that instant. Whether our conscious thoughts have gone there or not, our body goes there and it goes into the survival even more, our fight or flight. And it's just trying to make sure that we don't end up in that same trauma again. So what I recommend doing is when this button is hit, when this button is hit and you find yourself in trauma triggers, is bringing your brain back to the present. All of the chemicals are bringing us back to the past to try to prevent that past thing from happening again. So I say, thanks, brain. Thanks for wanting to keep me safe. Let's come back to the present. And my favorite way to get me back to the present is to activate my 5 senses. So I will even carry a trauma self-care kit that has different things in there to activate my senses. I have an example of it in a previous video, so go back and check that out. But the basics are, what can I have in my purse or my bag? I carry mine in my computer bag that I take to and from work. What can I have in there that activates senses? Some easy things: hand sanitizer, your favorite smelling hand sanitizer. Because when you put that on, it's going to activate your touch sense as you rub it around. It's also going to activate your smell. And your favorite smell is going to activate good things with that smell. So it will help bring you a little bit more into the present. I also really like Jolly Ranchers because they're going to activate your taste and your smell. Again, we're getting 2 of those senses being activated. If you don't have those, getting some fine motor or gross motor in. So some tapping will give you a touch sensation and some fine motor, or getting up and walking to the drinking fountain and getting a drink of water will give you some gross motor, some big motor movement, and activate your taste sense when you get that drink. So take a second and plan in advance. What things do I like to look at, smell, taste, feel? I always forget one when I'm trying to do this in a video. And whatever the last sense is that I didn't say, here, oh yeah, some earpods that can go in and play your favorite song. Or if you don't have that, even just pausing and going, what can I hear? For example, right now, in this moment, I can hear jets flying above me. My heater just turned on. I have a little wreath that's tinkling against my window. When I just pause and pay attention to what can I hear around me, it helps bring all of my brain's focus back to the present so that that trigger isn't as big and doesn't take me as far away. So good luck. If you have any other questions, or if you try this out, give me your response. What has it been like? What's helpful for you in managing your triggers? And feel free to send me a question if you have anything.